Good morning, kiddos. So today we're going to look at place value just a little differently. We're going to look at the power of 10, and we're going to be talking about a concept that is really going to help you when looking at multiplying large numbers later and how numbers change in value. So we're going to start off with something really simple. You're going to be like, Ms. Boatwright, seriously, I already know how to multiply 2 times 1. I get it. I know. But here we go. Just hear me out. Okay? So we're going to start with 2 times 1. And then I want you to think about 2 times 10. Then I want you to think about 2 times 100. 2 times 1,000. And 2 times 10,000. Okay? So let's just think about this. 2 times 1. I know, it's 2. Okay, 2 times 10, simple, it is 20. And if I have 2 groups of 100, I obviously have 2 hundreds, right? And if I have 2 groups of 1,000, 2,000, right? And then if I go to 2 times 10,000, 2 groups of 10,000 is going to give me 20,000, okay? Good job. Okay? But it's not that simple, okay? What I want you to do is I actually want you to look at this and find a pattern. So pause the video here. Look and see what patterns you notice. Okay, so look at the whole thing going across, look going down. What patterns are you noticing? And I want you to write them down on your paper. So in your notebook, I want you to have this written. I probably should have told you to grab your math notebook ahead of time. Grab your math notebook. Go ahead, pause the video, write this down, and then I want you to either circle or underline or write down what patterns you're noticing. I want you to look across and I want you to look top to bottom, bottom to top, however you want to do it, but I want you to look and see what patterns that you notice in here. Okay, so pause it and then come back and let's talk about it. Welcome back. Okay, so I think some of you probably noticed that we started with 2. We have 2 multiplying another number. So they all have 2 in them. You probably also noticed that you have 2 times 1. You have a 2 times 1. You have a 2 times 1. You have a 2 times 1, and you have a 2 times 1. Okay, so you probably also noticed there are no zeros here. And in this one, 2 times 10, we have a 0 here, and we have a 0 in our answer. You probably also noticed you have 2 zeros here and 2 zeros here. You probably also noticed 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Now, if you didn't notice these things, go ahead, pause the video. Go ahead and make the same underline or the same notes that I made, and then come on back. Okay? So another thing that I want you to think about, and hopefully you did pick up on this, okay? Usually I have someone who notices, what is happening from here to here, and then here to here, and then here to here, and then here to here? Think about place value. How do I get from 1 to 10? How many 1s are in 10? Think. How many 1s are in 10? 10, right? There are 10 1s in 10. So going from 1 to 10, I multiplied by 10. I went 10 times more. So my answer from 2 to 20 is 10 times more. 2 times 10 is 20. Check that out, right? So 2 to 20, 1 to 10, this here, this is 10 times more than 2. Okay, go ahead and pause that, write that down. Then I want you to think about 20 and 200. 10 and 100. How many 10s are in 100? How many 10s are in 100? Think about that. Count by 10s. Right? It's 10 times more. It takes 10 10s to make 100. So 20 going to 200, you have to multiply by 10. So to get from 20 to 200, you have to go 10 times more. So this is 10 times more than 20. Okay, so what I want you to do, pause the video, see if you can figure out the next two phrases I'm gonna write between 200 and 2,000, and then between 2,000 and 20,000. So pause the video, and then come back and see if you got the same thing I did. All right, welcome back. Okay, so you should have written that 2,000 is 10 times more than 200, and that 20,000 is 10 times more than 2,000. Okay? And each one of these is 10 times more. It takes 10 ones to make, so 1 times 10 will get you to 10. 10 times 10 gives you 100. 100 times 10 gives you 1,000. And it takes 1,000. It takes 10 1,000s to make 10,000. So 1,000 times 10 will be 10,000. Okay, so we're gonna do another one. Okay, we're gonna kick it up just a little bit so that you can see how it's gonna relate to other numbers. Okay, so we're gonna do another one, and we're gonna stick with 2. But we're gonna do 2 times 4 this time. So we're gonna do 2 times 4, 2 times 40, 2 times 400, and 2 times 4,000. For the sake of space, I'm just gonna stop here. If you want to, on your paper for bonus points, do 2 times 40,000, you go for it. All right, so pause the video. See if you can figure these ones out really quickly. All right, so let's take a look and see what you should have come up with. Well, 2 times 4, we know that. You're like, but right, that's so easy. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 40, we're now going one place value higher. We're going 10 times more. We're moving now from the ones place to the tens place. And so our answer has to match. So we can look at that 2 times 4 and relate it to 8, relate it to that fact that we know, and then we know that we're going over an additional place value. So we're moving to the tens place. Now we're taking that same fact 2 times 4, but we are now going to move it to the hundreds place. So our answer is 800. Okay, and our last one, 2 times 4,000. So we look at 2 times 4, but then we apply it to the thousands place. So we move it all the way over to the thousands place and we get 8,000, okay? Now guys, I know this video is long. We're just gonna do one more. I'm gonna kick it up one more notch because I want you to be really confident when you do the next slide where you're gonna have to fill in the blanks and they might not be quite as easy. So we're gonna do just one more, okay? So hang with me. Oh, magic word of the day, power of 10, whoop, whoop. And if you could give me a definition as to what that means, based on everything I've said, like what do you think the power of 10 means? Bonus points. Okay, so let's move on to our last set of numbers, our last string, and we're gonna go with 4 groups of 3. So we're gonna look at 4 groups of 3, and then we're gonna move that to 4 groups of 30, then 4 groups of 300, and for sake of space, I'm gonna stop at 4 groups of 3,000. Want bonus points? Go ahead and take it to 30,000. All right, think about this. Pause the video, and then come back, and we will take a look at your answers. All right, 4 times 3, we know is 12. That's easy. And notice I am starting with facts that I know that you already know. Because 3rd grade, we know that you mastered those multiplication facts. So this is going to be a piece of cake. So 4 groups of 3 is 12. Okay, so now I'm going to look at that 4 groups of 3. I'm going to move over a place value. I'm going to add an additional place value. So 4 groups of 3 I know is 12. So 4 groups of 30 is 120. Okay, I'm going to take that same concept and think about 4 times 3 I know is 12. Move it over 2 place values and go another 10 times more and I get 1,200. And on my last one, I'm going to move it over 10 times more. I'm going to move it over 1 more place value and I am going to get 12,000. Okay, so if you worked hard on this, if you paused and thought about it and listened to all of this and you have this all written down nice and neat in your math notebooks, the next slide or the next couple slides should be piece of cake, easy peasy. And yeah, so this is a fun concept. It's one of my favorites. So the power of 10 is magical. Magical. Okay. All right, so go and do your math and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.